Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza, where it's your Let's Play 2. I am John Michael, also known as PyroFalkon, and you may know me from FAQs I wrote for GameFAQs.com or from strategy guide wikis I wrote for IGN Entertainment. If you do, and if you've seen my special Top 10 Favorite Games video, you also know that The Sims is one of my favorite franchises of all time. It's always a pleasure to talk about a game series that means so much to me. This is a special introduction video to my Socialism Challenge series, which will be a slightly different way to play The Sims 4. The Socialism Challenge is something I invented for The Sims 3. You can see that entire series here on my YouTube channel. The Sims as a franchise isn't difficult, and for better or worse, it's one of those series where you sometimes have to make your own fun once you've mastered the game's mechanics. You may already know of the famous Asylum Challenge and Legacy Challenge that were started on the official Sims message board forums, but I wanted to make my own challenge, and it turned out really well the last time around. Several people have asked me to play The Sims 4 for the channel anyway, so I'm resurrecting the Socialism Challenge and updating it for the newest iteration of the franchise. The purpose of the Socialism Challenge is that we have 8 Sims who all live for the betterment of the entire household. There can be no personal items. All decisions and objects must benefit the entire house or be sold off. The challenge will be complete when all 8 Sims reach the top of the 8 different career tracks, and my score is the number of days it takes me to get there. Obviously, the lower the number, the better. It wouldn't be a challenge without several rules in place to add randomness to the proceedings, so we'll go over them now. You can check out the video description to see a full breakdown of the rules. First, during creation, all 8 Sims must be unrelated. Sims who are siblings or significant others start off with a bonus to their relationship scores, and we want all 8 Sims to start on as equal footing as possible. The 8 can be any gender, have any clothes, and any names. That part's up to you. Second, the aspiration is restricted to Big Happy Family in the family category. Its connected trait means all Sims within the household will get along with each other better, and we need that cooperation for the benefit of the household. At least, that's the explanation I'm going with, even if it's a little too idealistic. Third, the traits are randomized. The Sims 4 doesn't feature the randomized traits button that Sims 3 did, so I used a random number generator to determine everyone's traits. We'll see those soon when I introduce you to the 8 Sims who will be the stars of the series. Now, all 8 Sims must be made together, as you can see here. The Sims 4 makes it possible to make just, say, 8 one-sim families, which we can then merge into a single lot. However, if we do this, it would mean our starting funds would be 160,000 simoleons, which would be enough to buy everything we could ever need. Because all 8 Sims are being made together, we'll actually be starting with under 40,000 simoleons, so money management will be important. Once we're done making our Sims, we can move them into any empty lot we wish, and we can bulldoze an existing lot to use it for our socialist Sims. However, this is the only lot we're allowed. We will not be able to move the family. As such, it's best to choose the largest lot so there will be room for the house to grow. These are also the only 8 Sims we're allowed to make or use. If any of them die in the process of the challenge, then we have to try to complete it with 7, or fewer. A Sim can change career tracks once they reach level 10 of any career, so that way if we do have fewer than the full 8, we can have someone switch over as necessary. Hopefully, we won't have that problem. There is no restriction on what our Sims choose for their career. We'll play the hand we're dealt. Therefore, though the traits are randomized, we can still choose the career that best matches what traits the Sims have, if possible. Branches of careers are similarly unrestricted, and we only need 1 branch per career track to fulfill our objective. Because we must treat our Sims as equals, their beds must all be the same type. Their covers can be any color, though I tend to make all the beds fully identical. If there are multiple types of any objects that serve the same function, such as toilets or showers, all instances of that item must be identical just like the beds. Again, colors are free, though I prefer to keep everything looking the same. During gameplay, there are no restrictions. As I said, the Sims must start unrelated, but they don't have to stay unrelated. For simplicity, it will probably be better if all my Sims remain friends with each other rather than attempting any romantic relationships, but we'll see what happens. Free will be on full blast. It would almost be impossible to play the game otherwise, given that we'll have to care for 8 Sims. Of course, this also throws in the challenge that we'll have to play referee once the Sims start acting a little ridiculous. I'll be shocked if we don't start to see some conflicts brewing from the first day. And other than that, aging is off, obviously, because otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to finish before someone dies. Every second of gameplay will be recorded, though if I have to do any extended work, such as making my Sims or building the house, I'll speed it up, which you're seeing now. Each episode will last one full game day, beginning and ending at midnight. Okay, enough of the introduction of the challenge. Allow me to introduce our 8 stars of the series and determine their traits. Remember, these traits were chosen randomly from random.org, a random number generator website. If you want to play with them yourself, they are available in the Sims 4 gallery under my username, PyroFalkon. First up is Logan Runner, who sort of looks like an all-American quarterback. He has the loner, genius, and cheerful traits. It'll be hard for him to deal with the family at first, but I think he'll be alright. Second is Joseph Hill. He has the evil, genius, and bro traits. It'll be hard for him to get along with anybody, so we're going to have to watch him carefully, but he'll probably be pretty entertaining. Third is Kichiro Kato. He has the lazy, childish, and art lover traits. It's going to be hard for us to motivate him to get anything done, so we're going to have to watch him pretty carefully too. Our last guy is David Mendoza. He has the active, clumsy, and hates children traits. The first two are going to make one hell of a combination. The hates children trait isn't probably going to make much of a difference for us. Our first lady is Debbie Rebma. She has the foodie, gloomy, and creative traits. She'll probably wind up being the chef for the household, or at least the most demanding eater. We'll see how it goes. Next up is Angel Scott. She has the active, art lover, and snob traits. She'll probably have a little trouble making friends with the rest of the household, but we probably won't have to worry about her when she gets promoted up the ladder. Next up is Amy Shue. She has the non-committal, goofball, and hates children traits. I don't have much experience with the goofball trait in the game, but I think her traits are going to wind up being a non-factor. Finally is Rosa Reyes. She has the geek, good, and snob traits. She'll probably get along pretty well with everybody, especially Angel. So hopefully she can be the glue that holds the rest of the family together. Now that you know the 8 Sims who are going to be the stars of this series, it's time to move them into a lot and build the first version of their house. We've moved our 8 Sims into the empty Arid Ridge lot in the Oasis Springs world. It cost us 5,500 simoleons, leaving the family with only 28,500 to spend on objects. That sounds like a lot, but when you're buying for 8 people, it runs out pretty quickly. When I play The Sims, I always build my houses for efficiency anyway, and this house needs to be as efficient as possible. I use different techniques and different lessons that I learned when I did the Sims 3 Socialism challenge. Part of that is making a bedroom that has 8 identical beds, all spaced 1 tile apart, rather than giving each Sim their own bedroom. It's a luxury we really can't afford. The living room is using a television and has enough seating space for all 8 Sims, so they can all be pacified at once and hopefully socialize with each other as they watch television. It's not really the greatest or most mind-impacting thing that we could do. Hopefully that bookcase will be able to offset a little bit. But I've noticed that because televisions tend to attract the whole family, it should help us get those social meters up and the relation scores up pretty high as quickly as possible. All the carpets and all the wallpapers are pretty much your own choice. I am not exactly well versed in architectural styles or names or anything. I just know what I like to look at. So I'm going with this brick house with wooden trim for the windows and this bizarre half roof, which I just kind of like looking at. That's pretty much the only reason I included it. But I gave it a low angle because otherwise I thought it looked just a little too funny. So for this third room, all we're adding is the kitchen and dining room here. Now, even though you want to keep things as cheap as possible at first, you usually have enough money to splurge on a couple things, which is why I'm not going for the cheapest sink, the cheapest fridge, and the cheapest oven. Although it adds to the amount of money that we have to spend, Hopefully, at least with those two, it'll provide better quality meals. It'll help us avoid the moodlets that penalize us for having uneven cooking, and hopefully the stuff won't break down as much. Without the handyman that used to be in the Sim series and is no longer, or the repairman rather, it's up to our Sims to repair stuff when it breaks, so I'm hoping we can do that as little as possible. And then for the final room, I decided to build this office, gave it a little roof here, another half roof. Thought it looked pretty good, and I just tried to play with the roofs a little bit here to get a look that I really liked. And pretty much no matter how I did it, something looked really weird. And especially given that it's surrounded by all these beautiful looking villas, it just didn't quite look right, though I tried my best. Finishing off with lights, I still haven't seen my most obvious mistake, but don't worry, that comes right here. I look at everything, and I figured I'd buy a couple computers eventually, but I save, and we seem like we're good to go. And I even came into my video editor and got started on this video, and then I realized I forgot to make bathrooms, which might be a little bit of a problem. So I just made a small bathroom here with just the absolute bare essentials, not even a mirror. I guess our Sims will brush their teeth by feel, and hopefully they do a pretty decent job. But then just to save myself a little time, I saved the room as a special room that I could pull up anytime, because one bathroom or even two bathrooms is not going to help or serve a family of 8 Sims. And later on, when we have enough money, I'll try to expand it even farther. Although, probably 4 bathrooms will be good enough for now. So as I make the finishing touches here and apply the carpet and the wallpaper as necessary, I am keeping in mind that other room that I had built, the office, and then destroyed. And I'm going to use that space to have an office, a computer room, a game room, maybe even a workout room, and all this will be publicly available. That way it's not in the bedrooms, so it actually feels like a commune for all of our socialist Sims. Well, as we finish watching me build this house, I want to thank you guys for watching the entire video. I appreciate it, and starting tomorrow, we're going to have day 1 of our Sims 4 Socialism Challenge. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.